A lot of people try to escape responsibility, not knowing that they actually are getting hurt in the long run. And here's why. When you are a child, you don't really have a lot of responsibilities. The maximum responsibilities that you might have is, for example, clean up your room, have good grades, but you don't really have to pay for anything, you don't have to work. Normally, at least when you're 12, 13, some people start work when they are 16 and they start to have more responsibilities. But when you are a child, because you have no responsibilities at all, you also have no power. Now you can think of this in a company as well. The people that have the highest responsibility normally get more money and have more power. And the people that have less responsibility, that just are normal workers, they don't really have a lot of power, they just have to do what they are told. And this is everything that happens in life. The more responsibilities you have, the more power you also have. The more responsibilities you have, the more purpose you also have. They made a study back in the 1940s where they were trying to treat women and men the same way when they had depression. So they tried to teach women that self-love, self-acceptance is the way, and it worked. But when it came to men, it just didn't work, because they still were depressed, they couldn't get out of bed, and they were self-pitying, hating themselves and everything, right? And what happened is you start to have fires, start to have brutality in the streets, because men were fighting World War II, and now there were no men on the streets trying to keep organization, trying to keep the law. And those men that were now depressed, they had to fill in the shoes of the people that went to war. And what happened? They all forgot depression. Why? Because now they had a purpose. They had responsibilities to follow. And they didn't feel bad about themselves anymore. Because responsibility gives power, and power gives a purpose, and purpose takes away the depression, takes away the anxiety, takes away everything. They just had to become who they were meant to be. They had to fill in the shoes, they had to be that person. They didn't want to be it, but they had to adapt. They just fill in the shoes and depression went away. And this is what you need to start to do with your responsibilities. Instead of running away from responsibilities, what I want you to do is have more responsibilities. In the beginning it will hurt, in the beginning it will be weird. Why do I need more responsibilities? Why should I take more responsibilities? The person next to me should have more responsibilities. I don't want to have so much responsibilities. And it's because if you are responsible, then there is no complaints, there is no that's the guy that it's at fault. Oh no, that's the guy. No, you are responsible. You always can change things. If you are not responsible, then you can never change, because someone else is responsible for you. But if you are responsible and you can control and you can be a leader, then you can actually change things. You can always change anything. If something is wrong, you change it. And there is no need for all those complaints. There is no need to put the blame on anything else. Because you know that you are the one responsible. You are the responsible for this. And if we're going to go back into the business, the CEO, when the company fails, the CEO has the problem. Yes. When it fails, you're the loser. But when you win, you have the fame, right? When you win, you are the face of the winning. And it's always like this, it's always the risk. Being responsible has a high risk of failing, but also has a high risk of fame. Because if something works, that's the guy that made it work. But if something fails, of course, that's the guy that will have the blame. But honestly, stop focusing on trying to get rid of the responsibilities and actually embrace it. Use it to become the person you need to be. Not who you want to be, but actually need to be. Instead of running away, trying to not be that person, trying to not be a leader because, well, it's uncomfortable at some time. Actually embrace it and see what happens.